Good morning. This is Mark with Immigration Consciousness, and welcome to the podcast, committed to providing support and outreach to all communities in Colorado, as well as religious organizations to nurture their engagement with immigrants' lives. We believe that all people are equal and that no matter our skin color, our national origin, our sexual orientation, or anything else that makes us different, that we are what God has made us. We invite you to join us weekly as we interview different individuals or talk about policies that are happening. And we do that right here on the video or on YouTube, or you can visit any of the podcast locations where you can hear me talking. But we work to help change immigration laws and to help support immigrants and refugees here in this country. The podcast itself can be listened to on Spotify, on Anchor, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Breaker, Radio Public, Cast Pockets, Overcast, and any other places. And so I'm just here to share my first video with you called Immigration Consciousness. And I want to make this a weekly time to share events or what's going on with policies, particularly here in Colorado. We are located in Colorado, and I do focus a lot on Colorado, but Arizona, all parts of the country, and worldwide, immigration is an issue. There are approximately 70 million people in the world right now that are migrating for various reasons. And those reasons have to be discussed. The media doesn't share that information with you, and they need to. One of the stories I wanted to share with you is related to right here in Colorado. Almost 100 people that are detained at the privately owned immigrant and customs facility here in Aurora, Colorado, have tested positive for COVID-19. That was a few weeks ago, and the outbreak included 96 detainees and one employee. Conditions at GEO and the manner we treat individuals detained there not only reflect our community values, but impact our public health. That's according to Jason Crow, the Colorado congressman. Infectious disease outbreaks affect our community as a whole, and we will continue to demand transparency and accountability. The facility has seen a rise in new arrivals recently and transfers from border facilities, according to an ICE spokesperson. After the arrival of 166 new immigrants this month, Crow called for a halt to transfers, warning of increased virus transmission. The department said it tests immigrants during the intake process and houses the new arrivals separately for 2 weeks. The detention center has a capacity of 1,532 people, but ICE says it has lowered its population and currently has about 459 people there. And in Arizona, there is something called the Migrant Trail. It started in Arizona and in Tucson. 18 years ago, a group of committed individuals gathered to call for an end to migrant deaths along the U.S.-Mexico border. Every May, hundreds of participants embark on a week-long 75-mile walk from Sasabe, Sonora, Mexico, to Tucson, Arizona, to call for an end to migrant deaths along the U.S.-Mexico border and to stand in solidarity with migrants across the globe. Due to the COVID-19 pandemic, this year, as well as last year, they were unable and are unable to physically unite to remember those migrants who have died. But the commitment is there to supporting migrants and their families. So what they're doing is doing a virtual migrant trail this week. This is the 18th year that they've been doing that. And the participants this year undertake this annual event to bear witness to the injustices that migrants face and demand a stop to the tragic and preventable deaths of people attempting to cross the U.S.-Mexico border. Since 2004, the Migrant Trail We Walk for Life has grown to be a multinational endeavor of allies who hail from diverse regions, faith backgrounds, ages, and ethnicities, and walk together in solidarity with our immigrant friends and their families to demand an end to migrant deaths on the border and the criminalization of immigration. People from all over the United States, Mexico, Canada, Latin America, and Europe have participated in the walk. The walk this year starts tomorrow, May 30th, and runs through June 6th. It will feature daily morning reflections, videos, podcasts, featured speakers, and interactive discussions. Some of the speakers from Colorado will include the CEO and director of Casa de Paz, Sarah Jackson, as well as our own Tom Kowal, who is a longtime refugee and immigrant advocate. One other thing I wanted to report to you that, according to the Colorado State Director of Immigration, they recently did a survey and they found that an estimated 5.2 million undocumented immigrants, now this is national, but this is recorded from Colorado, including 900,000 dream workers work in essential industries, from healthcare to transportation and food services to agriculture. The majority of immigrant workers, 55% of them, and more than 2/3 of undocumented workers, 69%, work frontline jobs in essential sectors. This timely report underscores how important it is for Congress to include immigrants in future legislation to help America combat and recover from the COVID-19 pandemic, and why that must include a pathway to citizenship for millions of undocumented immigrants and immigrant essential workers. If you have any questions, you can contact the Colorado State Department. And if you're interested in joining the Migrant Trail, I believe you can still sign up. What you would need to do is go to www.azmigranttrail.com, see if they still let you register. It is a donation. It does say we like to get $35 to $100, but they will really pretty much take whatever you want to give them. And they appreciate anything that you give. But this is my first time doing this, and I look forward to doing more of these. I want to keep you informed when there's events going on. Next time there's a vigil at ICE here in Aurora, I want to help people to get together because we need to get out in numbers to make these changes, and we need to get involved. Everyone needs to get involved. This is a worldwide human issue, immigration, and we need to address it. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time on Immigration Consciousness.